Hello, YouTube family. This is Evelyn of Evelyn's Creations. Tonight I am going to be pre-treating some fabric that I'm going to dye. I have a client that wants a special texture and color of mudcloth. So I'm going to show you what I do to prep this fabric before it lays out to dry tomorrow. I'm going to dye some fabric. First of all, I'm going to use two different oranges. An orange sunshine. Ritz is my color that I'm going to use. Ritz is the brand I'm going to use. And then I'm going to also use some tangerine. I'm going to add some salt. And I'm going to add a little bit of dish detergent to make this mudcloth turn into the color that I want. Now, I have a big clear tub here with water in it. And I have boiled some hot water to go in here, so this is nice and warm. The hot water is to open up the fabric so it can breathe and that the dyes can go inside of the fabric. So I'm going to give you the process, and then I will come back with a video tomorrow showing you that it has dried and cured, and we have a nice fabric that you can paint, and I can add symbols on it, and I can mill it out. So we're going to pour the water, pour the dye in here. This is the Sunshine Orange. The reason that I'm putting two in here is because this is a thick piece of fabric, and I want to make sure that the dye really turns orange. Now, when you look at this color, hold on, man. Batman, come here. That's my dog. I'm sorry. He's probably playing with the other dog. So anyway, I'm going to pour these colors in. It looks orange. I mean, it looks red, but it's really going to be orange once it goes out. Then I'm going to put a little bit of dish detergent in there. This is Dawn. This keeps the fabric saturated. And then I'm going to pour some salt in there. And I probably do about 4 or 5 teaspoons of salt. Now, this is the mudcloth. The mudcloth is white, and it's going to be a nice shawl. As you can see, the color on it is turning orange. So I am going to completely make sure that the whole fabric is saturated with the dye. And no matter what, this I got really nice and warm, so I'm gonna switch hands on it. Like I said, I boil the water, and then I'm doing this inside. Most of the time I do it outside, but I need this for a client. She has a VIP event, and she needs to make a statement. So, I go the extra mile because my clients take care of me, so I have to take care of them. So we got the salt in here. We got you can probably see the smoke coming up, but we got the salt in here. We got the Dawn dish detergent, and I have 2 containers of the Ritz. And remember how we saw this fabric the dye looking red, but when I pull it out, it's looking orange. And that's because the dye is always going to look darker than the true color. And what you have to realize too is that when you do this, don't think right away that the color is saturated. This takes time. It takes time, and as you're dyeing this fabric, you need to keep working the cloth. Working the cloth means turning the cloth, making sure that everything in the cloth, all of the fabric is getting the even texture of the dye. So I am working the cloth. Now, another thing, see my hands? They tell you to wear gloves. You can't wear gloves. Some people, I'm a hands-on type person. Yes, if you don't wear gloves, you will get dye on your hand. But when you wash your hand, the dye comes off, okay? So I actually like to touch my cloth. I'm like I said, if you want to do this with gloves, feel free to do it with gloves. But I work with a lot of fabric and a lot of different cloths, and when I dye, I just like to feel the cloth. So that's the one caveat I want you to know. Most people don't dye. The dye is not going to harm you. It's just the fact. I don't wear nails. I don't wear acrylic nails anymore. I stopped wearing nails when COVID came, and people weren't shopping as much. They weren't buying clothes because they weren't working. And so I did a lot of work in my yard, plant some flowers and stuff, and it just didn't make sense to have nails when, I wasn't working. I used to always use my hands to advertise my garments, and I love my nails, but then I realized you can make money without having nails. In fact, I saved the money from making nails and bought some real estate. I bought some property from Land Bank and bought it cash with the money that I bought my nails. And when I did that, I realized that I didn't need the nails. I could sell without my nails. I could wash my hands. I was one of those real nail people. But anyway, that's a nail tip. I went off topic, but that's another reason why I can do this, is because I'm not sensitive about my nails. I am sensitive about how my hands look, and I am sensitive about great hygiene. And like I said, I put a little dish soap, a little bit of bleach. I wash my hands with a little bit of bleach, and voila, my fingers come back. So it's a judgment thing. If you do a lot of sewing and you do a lot of fabric dyeing, you may use a lot of thick gloves. And if you're just doing a piece here and there, I haven't did a lot of dyeing lately. Usually I do maybe 6 to 10 pieces at a time outside in the yard, and have different containers going, and working the fabric and working the cloth. And so even then, you can have a big spoon or a big stick, and you can keep the fabric moving. It's just like cooking. This fabric, dyeing a fabric is like cooking. When you cooking something and you got to stir the beans or stir the rice or stir the grits to make sure that it's evenly cooked, that's the same way with dyeing cloth. Okay, so let's go back to the dyes. Now, the dyes that I said I have was this orange, sunshine orange. This is the color that the sunshine orange is going to be. I don't really want it that light. That's why I blended 2 colors. So I blended the tangerine. The tangerine is a little bland too. So I said, let me put those 2 together. And that's why I use 2 colors. Sometimes you can add a red, but be careful when you blend your colors. Sorry about that. When you blend your colors, if it's a new color, make sure you write down the portions of it, because you can use, make your own colors. There's a color chart. But remember, like, see how dark this orange is right now? When the sun, when you wring it out, you see how light it is? It's going to be lighter than that when it dries. So you always want it to look really dark. And once you take it out, it's going to blend. The sun is going to dry it out, and it's going to be a lighter color than whatever the color is in the water. It's not going to be that same color when you lay it out. So the time frame on this, I'm going to probably blend this for about 10 to 15 minutes and just keep circulating it and making sure that there's every 4 corners of this fabric. I don't want to see any white. As you saw when I first started, it was all white. I don't want to see any white on the fabric, because this is real cotton mudcloth. This is raw mudcloth. It has no dyes in it. So I want to make sure when it comes out that it doesn't look like a tie-dye. Now, if you want a tie-dye, or you know how you do the tie-dye, you just tie it up and have the strings on it. And when you take the strings off, you have a variation of the color. But I want all this to be the same color. So the ingredients is Ritz, some salt, and some dish detergent. This is how you get a real nice color with the Mudcloth. Mudcloth takes a little bit longer than jeans. If you were to dye this fabric and the fabric was not as dark as you want, it could be for two reasons. It could be that you took the fabric out too early from this sitting stage, or you didn't have enough dye to get you the color that you want. So, and if that happens, you can just do the process over again. But this right here, I feel pretty confident that this is going to be a really good color. I mean, I'm looking at the color. It's like I said, it's darker than what I want. But when I do the test, it's the color orange that I want. And trust me, when I put this out and I put it online, you can go to Evelyn's Creations at Etsy.com and see some of my pieces that I've dyed. When I put it online, I like to say I have 10 in stock. So I will start the process, because for some reason when one person orders it, everybody stands in line and they want it. But it's a process, and I'm going to do it because I like being different. Now, when this is actually the cooking stage of the fabric, when I get through and I feel like the fabric is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two to three tubs of clear water, cold water, and I'm going to rinse it out. And what happens, I'm going to rinse all the excess dye off before I have it to sun dry. And when I rinse it off, I'll do this test right here. See this test right here? Okay, when I do this test right here, that means that if the water comes out clear, when I do the rinse stage, this is not this stage because I'm still cooking the fabric. I call it cooking, but I'm still processing the fabric. But when I go to the rinse stage, I want the fabric to be clear. And when it's clear, that means that I've gotten most of the dye out. And then I will let it dry. And the last stage, I forgot to tell you this. The last stage, when it gets clear, I will put a little bit of vinegar in the water, just pure vinegar. And the vinegar is going to make sure that the fabric doesn't bleed on any clothes that you may be wearing. So that's the last caveat for this, is having some vinegar in the last tub of clear water. This is like a laundry size tub that I have it in. And I'm in the kitchen and I'm just cooking this fabric, like I said. It's only one piece, so that's the only reason I'm doing it in the house. And then I will have a nice fabric, and I will be able to do some painting on this fabric. This is only one stage. Then I'm going to hand paint some nice African symbols on it and let it dry. And once it dries, then I'll be ready to press it and be ready to ship it. So if you like, or if you have been inspired by any part of this dyeing process of Mudcloth fabric, this could be any fabric. In fact, if you got some, maybe you was cleaning up and your jeans got a little bleach on it or something, and you love those favorite pair of jeans, this is something you can do that you can save your pants or save your shirt. So this is another technique that you can use for some clothing that's really good, but maybe the paint or the dye. Hey, behave. I'm on camera. Shh. Come here. All right. So anyway, my babies like to, if I don't have them attention, they want to play. But anyway, this is a good way to make sure that you can dye some fabric, save some fabric, and be creative. This is Evelyn of Evelyn's Creations. If you like this infomercial or this YouTube station, please like and subscribe and share. And follow my journey being a Black designer and sharing my secrets, my trade secrets, which I love to share because I feel everybody should be creative. And on that note, I'm feeling sad that Joanne Fabric is going out of business. Where are our new creators going to come from? I'm so sad because I visit all of them. We have 5 here in Orlando, and I visit all of them. I love all the staff, and I just can't believe the government won't save them. Again, Evelyn of Evelyn's Creations. Enjoy the creative journey. All right, YouTube family. Gonna give me about 10 more minutes of cooking this, and then I'm gonna call it a wrap and rinse it out. All right. Bye-bye.